Hey there, how's it going? I just like to begin a series of videos that has to do with breath work and just the beginning of energy movement, energy work. This is good. This is going to reunite me with roots of my path in some way. So I'm pretty excited about this in some manner, some shape, some form. Okay, now let's see if we can get it. Let's see here. Well, that's what we got. All right. Now, energy work. I've learned throughout my practice some really amazing things through following the breath and following the movement of energy. But I'll let you know how it began, so we can start maybe at a foundational practice in some kind of a way. It started with practicing the gathering of energy. It started with practicing remote viewing, astral projection, these kinds of things. Of course, these things were a little bit more difficult for me to do in some way, in some form, the remote viewing. I was able to experience remote viewing, but it was on psychedelics. This was cough and cold medicine. It's a very interesting, funny thing. It was crazy that dextromethorphan could do that. You know, that so many medicine ceremonies. It turns out that I come from a very shamanistic lineage. I come in to bring upon the medicines of the world and to show how all things are medicine in a really amazing fashion and way. That's where the route of all of life has routed me and formed me to be. Okay, so let's begin. So it started out, take off my shoes, ground to the earth. Ah, that feels so nice too. She just feels so beautiful. Oh, getting our feet nice and loose. Oh, you don't have to get your feet nice and loose right now if you don't want to, but it's beneficial for your energy body to be nice and limber, you know. Very beneficial, very beneficial. So originally, as a small child, I was quite fantastic in my beliefs. I was really believing that I could do a great deal of many things, and I was praying to God all the time, like, come on, let me have a Charmander, let me be a Super Saiyan, let me fly away with Goku and Gohan, and I would have dreams of this, because I was afraid of the dark at night, and I was extreme, amazing daydreamer and lucid dreamer. My images was just so on top. And so we would fly off and we'd do all kinds of really amazing things. I'd be a superhero in all my dreams. It was phenomenal, fantastic. And so when my friend came to me and gave me this practice that his brother had taught him, I really wanted it to be true. I really wanted it to work out. And I guess because of this, because of my belief in it, my belief in my ability to do this, it worked out very instantaneously, very well. Very good the first time. So I was first taught to breathe in the energy, or not even to breathe in the energy. I didn't know that I was breathing in the energy, but I was taught, breathe in the nose and out the mouth. Breathe in the nose and out the mouth. Now this hand movement is just something I'm doing now. It's not something I did then. I was taught to have my feet on the earth, have my hands on my sides like this, and then when my hands were out like this, that it told my body that I was gathering energy. In my nose and out my mouth. And then I was told to visualize my legs as roots into the ground, going deep into the earth, or however far it is that I wish to go. Wasn't too much specified at that time, but imagine my legs as roots into the ground like a tree. And then imagine, visualize that energy was coming from those roots, from the earth, and was being collected up the roots, up my legs, and into my abdomen, into my stomach, into my dantian, into my energy center here. Oh, it feels very nice. I haven't done this in a very long time. And after that, I was taught to bring the energy from the stomach, up the chest, down the shoulders, through the arms, and out of the hands, to vent it out of the hands. That's what I was told, to vent it. And so what I originally did was vent it from my fingertips into a focal point in the center to create a ball of energy. This was what was the attempt. This was what was meant to be done. This is what we had done. And so as I was doing this at the fingertips, eventually he hit my hands down, and he's like, "Whoa, you were doing it, but it was blue, and your hands were going to freeze." Now my friend was a tall tailor, and so I didn't really believe him. You know, I was like, I don't know, buddy. But I did feel energy in my stomach, and I did feel this buildup of pressure here, and then I did feel as if something was here, like a pushing and pulling of magnets. And so I was like, it's very interesting, you know. And but he told me that if I vented it out of the fingertips, that I would freeze my arms completely, which is an interesting thing. I've never had this occur, actually, so I don't think this was very true. But it doesn't matter. This was the beginning of the visualization practices and the gathering of energy practices. And luckily, I was a child. I was 14 or 15 years old. And so I was very spongy, malleable. I was very fluid, very accepting, very open. Yeah, it's very spongy, you know. I very much was open to learning in a big way, to new ideas and new concepts. I wasn't so rigid. I was quite loose and fluid. And so that was good. So moving along. Now, yeah, that was the beginning of the energy practice. And then I started to go into meditations and visualizations, breathing in, breathing out, all kinds of really amazing and wonderful things. You see, I think it's good to tell the whole story of how energy began. So I had made a couple of these energy balls in my young age. I remember my brother, my sister, and my stepsister, or both of them my sisters, and my stepbrother, but he's my brother. Telling me about a purple light glowing. Of course, I had this skeptic thing to where I believed people were always lying to me, and I was like, I don't know. I think they're just trying to mess with me and make me look crazy. So I could never really believe in it, and then after a few times of disbelieving it so long, I kind of stopped, walked away from it for a while. But I would happen to come upon medicine ceremonies later that were very powerful, very strong, and they would teach me a ridiculous amount of things. And that was really beautiful. Eventually I got introduced to psychedelics in the form of cough and cold medicine and mushrooms. The mushroom experiences were vast, amazing, phenomenal. I remember seeing a new image for every inch of air or layer of air in front of me. Really powerful experience. I remember seeing everything not from my eyes, but from a point above my eyes. Like, I can see my eyes, what is this? And I felt like my left arm wasn't attached to my body for some reason. I don't know what that means exactly. Perhaps it was saying that I was very disconnected to here. Who knows for sure. A lot of different really amazing scenarios. I would remote view on the cough and cold medicine. It would take you, it's a dissociative, and so it would take me deep into myself, deep into an image of myself in some way. I'd be looking at maybe the red dot on the stereo, and then that dot would become scenery and would become a whole view, and eventually I would be able to go into people's homes. I would go into, I don't know whose home it was, I don't know where it was. It was just some place beyond the veil of the reality I was currently in. And there'd be people just doing mundane things, regular people things, you know, walking around. And I'd be fully in there, and it felt amazing, really powerful, and I was just so present with it. I was like, wow, this is really amazing. I just watch whatever it was, you know, I just watch it. There's nothing to really think. And it was great. I had many of these ceremonies. I mean, for some reason, it was so cheap. It was like $1 or something at the store to have a 12-hour experience that took you out of this reality, one that I was not very happy with. But I was really big on bringing the dream world to life, to have visions with my eyes open. This was huge for me. I mean, anybody can, you know, do the eyes closed vision, but I wanted eyes open vision. I wanted to be in a completely new world, escape this one in some way. And man, I had very powerful scenarios. I had past life regressions, all kinds of things, even on mushrooms, on psilocybin, of course. I had some really powerful events when I was young. I remember being a blonde-haired man with a sword running through these hilltop meadows, these really amazing things, and being frantic for this woman that was taken. Frantic, looking for her. These men had taken her from me, and I was trying to find them and save her. I remember coming out of that dream and then realizing I was in the front seat of a car, the driver's seat with the lights on, and where I put myself to kick in the trip in a beautiful way. I'd taken a 1/4 ounce of psilocybin, and I was seeing a fence in front of me and houses, and I was like, oh. When I first came out, I was still feeling like looking for the woman, like, and I was like, oh, I'm Ryan. I had to tell myself that I was Ryan. That was really interesting, Remember on the dextromethorphan trips, I would see all the strands and strings sometimes and not remember. I was like, wow, there's so many. And it was very fleeting, a lot of these experiences, some of them not as much. What I was trying to capture my subconscious. I was trying to open my subconscious mind. I had heard about what Jesus had done, and I had decided that he was a man, and that everybody could do the same things as he, and he even said that we would do greater things than he, and so I was like, okay, well, we can definitely then do greater things than he. I believe that he had done all the things that he had done, and that it was possible for all of us to do all of the gifts entirely. Telekinesis, telepathy, and anything in between or anything outside of. I was sure that we were able to do this, but it was just due to us only accessing 10% of our brain that was causing us to not access the very magical 90% other part of our brain, was how I was viewing this at the time. So I was destined to originally perfect the dream world, which is what I did as a child. I was becoming a very lucid and amazing visualizer and magnifier of my dreams and my intentions within certain ways, learning prayer too. And I never did get my Charmander. I have kind of become a Super Saiyan, though. Anyways. And so, in its own right, one day I'll fly, it'll be perfect. Anyways. And so, my eye. Yes. So this is amazing stuff. But finally, on the dextromethorphan, taking quite the large dose, after being sent to a crazy past life where I was in ancient Greece for 3 years in prison. I was in a van in pitch black when I started off, because in pitch black is where you can bring the greatest visuals. In pitch black, it just brings everything behind to the front of the mind. It's like having your eyes closed but your eyes open, and so it creates this amazing atmosphere for visualization. And actually, vehicles really magnify energy. You'll have a very powerful experience inside of a metal box, as it turns out. And later on that in the future. So, yeah, I was put into broad daylight inside of ancient Greece, and I was in prison. And I was walking with a man amongst the bars, speaking with him, and all kinds of different things, doing all kinds of things, but my head the whole time was in this kind of disarray, as if I was tripping the whole time, so it was really hard, it was really difficult. And for 3 years I thought I was there. I was there for so long that I started to believe that this was the trip, and that was the constant reality. And because I had believed that this was happening, it had caused me to do whatever it was I had done to put me in prison. I was like, oh my goodness, if only I would have known I was here, I wouldn't be in prison right now. But I thought I was in this other place this whole time, but apparently this is the real reality. It was awful. Then I woke up in the van after being in the fetal position, crying about how terrible my reality had become because of whatever it was. I was tripping the whole time about this reality. Really amazing, strange place. I woke up and I was like, whoa, I'm in the van. Quite the relief and quite the shocking experience, My girlfriend was mad at me at the time, and I just looked at her like she was crazy. I was like, I was just gone for 3 years. Crazy. But, whatever. We just moved on with life after that. Went back to work and did all the different things. What else are you going to do? Smoked a cigarette, Kind of grounded that in. Crazy experience. Going to remember the whole of the 3 years, but that's what it would seem like. It was really interesting. But anyways, so later after this, powerful experience, there was another experience where I actually did master my subconscious. Oh, that's what we were going to. After believing that I was mastering the dream world, because that's what I was first interested in, the occult, the dreams. And, God was present, because I was born Catholic and all that, but I was really looking into these occult dream books and things like that. I didn't read them too much. I was a terrible studier, but I was really interested in them. and things that had to do with astral projection and all these things. Astral projection was actually what I saw to be my key out of hell. I was like, oh, perfect. I won't have to worry about going to heaven or hell. I could just astral project and go to the astral realm and do whatever it is I want. Fly into the universe, have cosmic sex, and have a limitless orgasm. That was hugely desired by me. I was like, that sounds like the best thing ever. Let's do that. And, kind of a sexual child. And so, finally I decided I needed to master my subconscious, realizing that in the subconscious mind were all the gifts, were all the blessings, were all these amazing things. Energy balls, telepathy, telekinesis, psychic abilities, all of the psychic abilities. Speaking with the dead, whatever it was. That wasn't something I was too interested in. I don't know, people had taken me to haunted places. We went to this closed down mental facility where all kinds of terrible events were supposed to be occurring to the people, and so they're supposed to be very haunted. We didn't see anything. It was kind of scary to just be in the dark. I was kind of always a little afraid of the dark for a long time, until finally I found God and felt like I'm safe. And once I had realized people were the real danger, and then I was just good, as long as I was away from people. I was like, okay, get away from people. You'll be safe away from people. And I didn't have a lot of wildlife around me in my life to be afraid of. I didn't grow up around bears or mountain lions. I grew up with the possibility of there being mountain lions. Well, I didn't really grow up with the possibility of there being mountain lions, but eventually in life there was a possibility of there being mountain lions. And as long as it wasn't dark, I felt pretty safe. I mean, I didn't see anybody around. Why would they attack me? And later on, it would be a strange thing to go into the wilderness and be like, oh, there's things out here that could kill me. And that was interesting in navigating, because you still got to go somewhere, but you just got to be brave. And be scared. Whoa. It's cool to see how you react in certain situations. If you're going to, freak out of nowhere, start shouting, screaming, running, crying, whatever it is, or if you're going to remain calm. I mean, even in the greatest of fear situations, for some reason, I'm always able to remain calm. I don't know if it's intelligence or what's going on with that. But eventually, on dextromethorphan, I became the master of my subconscious one evening. This was what I was searching for. This is what I was looking for. All the images around me, I could move them, I could change them, I could do anything to my will of them. I could pick up the people that looked like they were in the Bible days in my images, and I could pick them up and move them and rearrange them. I could do all kinds of things. It was like a God mentality. It was a really interesting, powerful thing. And the whole time, all I was doing was laughing. It wasn't like I was like, over every. But it was like, like I finally had attained or reached this space I was looking for. And so that was huge. Once that had occurred, it was very difficult for me to turn away from it, because I was like, here is a door, here is a gateway, and I don't have any other gateway to this that will help me access this capability or ability, and that's really all I want to do. And it was big, At this time, I was really big on Jesus and God, and really trying to be a faithful servant as well, while still employing the help of these medicines to expand my consciousness. Not being sure, is this okay or is this not okay? I felt like, of course it's okay. Why would it not be? I'm so drawn to it. I was not feeling like, marijuana or anything like that was okay, but, or K2 or that spice stuff that we were smoking at the time. I was like, I wasn't very sure if that was alright, alcohol or any of those things. But for me, psychedelics was something I really wanted and really needed, really desired, because I wanted to come into a place in myself that these things were giving me the access to. So they're giving me access to all kinds of different informations that I didn't have access to anywhere else. Being in the Bible Belt, being in the East, being with conservative folks. There was nobody at all to talk about spiritual things. I was like the most crazy, far-out spiritual guy I knew. I mean, if we met a hippie, it was just kind of funny. It was like, who is this person? You know, this stinky hippie person. They're just super stoners, was I saw them as. I didn't see them as spiritual in any manner. I was like, oh yeah, it's a super stoner. They don't work. They live on the road. They're like gypsies, you know. Whatever, not a big deal. I barely knew any of them. They like, you know, certain music. I don't know what music it is they like. I didn't know much about anybody, you know. I was a very clean-cut individual. I'd been in the military. My family was military family. Both my mom and my dad were in the Navy when they met each other, you know. I didn't really know anybody like that. I had this cool reggae neighbor, and I tried to talk to him about spiritual things, but he was too busy talking about playing the bass for his reggae band and not really caring about that kind of stuff, you know. Which was cool. I liked Bob Marley. They did Bob Marley covers, like really awesome stuff. Anyways, let's move on. So, then I wanted to master the subconscious. And eventually I ended up talking one of my girlfriends into having ceremony with me, because I had ceremony with another girlfriend, and I was really able to see her and connect with her and fall deeply in love with her being due to this ceremony. It was like, wow, you're just as crazy as I am. This is amazing. How wonderful. We laughed and did all these things, and you know, we were super cool together. There's just all kinds of different things going on with us as well, to where it was like, she wanted a lot of sex and a lot of this and a lot of that, and just a lot of stuff that I wasn't big on. I've always been really good at renouncing things in the world around me. Harder for me to take them upon myself. I'm like, you know, I don't really need anything. Yeah, psychedelic ceremony, that seems like it, you know. And really, there's a time when I thought that as long as I had medicine on me, I don't need anything else. What is it? No, I'm good to go. I have a vial of LSD ready to go, baby. And that was cool. I only one time had that, and I actually took it from a friend of mine. It was but they had screwed me over too. But you know, yeah, it's interesting, you know, spiting somebody for spiting yourself. Not something I would do now, but I was young then, and all forms of things we used to justify all kinds of different actions, and that was even after I'd taken my Bodhisattva vows. But it's a learning experience and a growth experience, and we're growing every day. And so, yeah, many years ago. But man, I felt like top notch because of that. That person wanted to screw me over, all kinds of, and did screw me over, doesn't matter. There's no excuse. Though there is reasons why everything happened, and the past is the past, and things have occurred, and we can forgive ourselves and forgive others, and see that everybody was perfect, and send love, and you know, understanding to each one of those people, and not hold on to any grudging energies, and just, you know, apologize, you know, make things right in some kind of a way. That's beautiful. You know, if need be. And so, after the master of the subconscious, I actually came into a dextromethorphan ceremony, which at this time I wasn't calling it ceremonies, you know, it was just, we were tripping and having a powerful experience, but I like to do so in nature, and sometimes I like to do so in the daytime. Sometimes I like to do so at night, mostly at night. This time me and my girlfriend, we went to the woods, and we sat on a log to kick it in. I had this purse speaker bag. It's cute. And we were listening to Entheogenic Radio on Pandora radio station. Really trippy music comes onto that radio station. Really super amazingly trippy music. If you listen to this music while you're taking any kind of psychedelic medicine, you are going to have an insane journey. But what I did come to find is that the music kind of governs the type of journey that you're having. So you can change types of music, and it'll change the trip. It'll change the experience that you have. And so right now I'm more conscious about what it is I'm activating music-wise. I do love the medicine teachers, the amazing people like Trevor Hall, Knockout Medicine for the People, Xavier Rudd, Rising Appalachia, Ayla Nero. Oh my goodness, Ayla Nero. Yeah, all kinds of really amazing people. Hope Renee Reborn, I think, but a lot of people Yeah. Doesn't matter the rest of their names at this time. We could shout them out all day. And, yeah, Mike Love, Paul Isaac. Oh, goodness. Anyways, beautiful medicine singers, and they have codes from my heart that open me and unlock me in really amazing ways. Because, like, even the tone, the singing, the whole thing I can go into. Amazing Native American music, phenomenal tribal songs. Yeah, amazing Tibetan mantras, all kinds of things to bring us into all kinds of ways. Chinese traditional, that was huge for me. Chinese traditional has really brought me through huge journeys. It was Chinese traditional music that I was really able to become into a meditative state without the help of any medicine. Just brought me into like deep, beautiful walking meditations that would bring me to different places. And I found when I started to listen to that while I was on medicine, it brought me into a meditative state. I would sit down and meditate. I would feel like a yogi. I would feel like, which I didn't know the word at the time, I'd feel like a Buddha, like a Buddhist practitioner. I was like, felt like it connected me with a part of myself from long, long, long ago. And it did. It turns out that all of these musics, they sing to our heart in times that we've listened to these musics in our past lives, and so we can connect to our mind stream in these amazing places, these amazing codes of these amazing people that we've been, and bring them into this now moment. And it's been really phenomenal, this path, I have to say. So, sitting on this log with her head on my lap, I just begin moving to this music, moving. And finally, it brings me into this place where I trance out. I'm no longer moving. I'm watching the movement. And I'm watching my hands do all kinds of amazing things. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? As it's grabbing the energy, scooping the energy, moving the energy, taking it all up, grabbing it here, grabbing it there, seeing how each one of the different mudras grabs the energy differently and brings it up into a different shape or form. Not one that I was able to conceptualize or articulate, bring into the intellectual mind, but I was just able to watch as it was doing this. Not very specifically, not very precisely, but as it continued to do this, it brought it all into her forehead. And I was like, whoa, what is this? Without the saying, whoa, what is this? Just watching. And then finally, it brought me to put my thumb down on her forehead, straighten my back, straighten my arm, raise my head to the sky as a surge of energy flew up my spine and my whole body shivered and shook. And after that, I let go. It was done. And her eyes come wide open. She's like, why did you take us away from there? I'm like, away from where? I'm very present, like, away from where? What do you mean? And she's like, we were in a heavenly realm. You were there with me. We were there together. And the ceilings were so high that you couldn't even tell that there was ceilings. It was held up by giant pillars of light. And just amazing, cool description, and I was like, whoa, well, I wasn't there with you, I was here doing this thing, I guess. Who knew what was going on? But that was the first time that I tranced out into emotion that was beyond myself, beyond my current knowing. So I realized that there was a piece of me within me that knew something greater than what I currently consciously knew. And so for me, I felt like I was really accessing my subconscious, my past lives. I was accessing this part of myself that I called the shaman. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And so then, after that, knowing that I was able to access this, that I was able to retain some of it, to see some of it in some way, I was like, okay, this is definitely the route I need to go. Well, of course, I still had life around me. She needed me to work. They needed me to do this. They needed me to do that, And so it's like, okay. And they didn't like me taking the medicine ceremony a lot. They're like, I don't like when you do that a bunch. I don't like when you smoke a bunch. I don't like when you do this a bunch. It's aggravating me. I want you to be here with me in this moment. We had a family thing going on, But man, all I wanted to do was trip. All I wanted to do was have ceremony, That's all I wanted. I was like, can't something just let me do this, please, so I can really understand everything and help everything in a really amazing, exponential manner. Finally, I've been able to do it. But I still don't do it as much as what I was doing in the past, because much more developed. And but yes, so these were the beginnings of these things. Later on, I would have experiences of great power and capability, but that wasn't until finally I had ceremony with a female on LSD, and she had set intention. And so we had set intention finally, and then everything came through in a really huge way. But just before that, things were coming through in a really phenomenal fashion as well. So it seems like here we're running out of time on this video, and I would really love to jump back in. We're going to jump back into San Francisco, the time just before the scenario with this girl, and this is just after my time at a Buddhist retreat center, where I had actually taken cough and cold medicine there as well, and I had done practice with mantra. I had actually practiced meditation using this medicine. Now that was a really interesting thing, to go into our meditation practice while on the medicines, while in the trip. It seemed to amplify it. I just thought that if I did this, that it would amplify the energy, it would magnify it, it would make it stronger, and it would bring me to a deeper place within myself faster than if I were to do it regularly. And I have to say that I was right. My intuition was correct. That is true. That is what happened. So I would, definitely recommend doing that. Right intention will have to be found, though. Without right intention, it's going to be crazy. But if you begin to do these practices in a really powerful way with these amazing pure mantras, like from Tibetan Buddhism, then I'm sure that it'll lead your way in a good way. But who knows for sure? Only you can know what's good for you. Only you will know what's right with your heart. So make sure you follow your heart always, and not the thing that somebody else tells you, not the direction somebody else gives you. You know what's best for you. I don't know what's best for you, but I can share with you what has been best for me, in hopes that it can help you find what's best for you. I love you very much. I'm so grateful to be here with you now, and always, and forever, and always. And I hope that you have the most magnificent and beautiful day that you could ever possibly have. So expansive, so great, so graceful, so elegant, so smooth, so happy and fulfilling. I hope you get the time to smell the flowers and to really honor the great beauty that is all around you, that is within you, that is yourself. Thank you for everything. I love you. Aloha.